Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for another exciting CLIA Global Cruise Line webinar to discover what makes SeaDream Yacht Club stand apart from the rest. My name is Johanna de Guzman, and I'm Manager of Industry Relations for North American Travel Trade Membership here at CLIA, and I'm going to quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run for about 45 to 50 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. It is my pleasure to introduce your presenter, Carlos Garzon. Carlos is a seasoned cruise industry veteran with over 20 years of expertise in sales, marketing, and revenue management. As the Vice President of Sales at SeaDream Yacht Club, Carlos brings a vast knowledge and passion for luxury travel to the forefront, leading a team that redefines the yachting experience. His dynamic approach and deep understanding of the industry make him a key player in delivering the exceptional and personalized service that SeaDream is renowned for. And with that, take it away, Carlos.
Thank you, Johanna. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I am Carlos Garzon, and that was a pretty impressive introduction. It even embarrassed me. So thank you all for joining today, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to share a little bit of time and knowing the difference of SeaDream, what we are and what we aren't. I will start with a little brief video, and then we will jump into our presentation. My friends, please enjoy. But I hope you all enjoyed that. I actually just got back from the ship about a week and a half ago. So it was really nice. First time for me being on the ship, on the yacht, actually. I got to get out of that habit. It is a yacht. And we'll go into the details and the differentiators of ship and yacht as we go through the presentation, because clearly there will be a difference, and you and your guests will certainly get to experience that. All right, what's our itinerary for today? We will be introducing SeaDream Yacht Club. We will go over what we are, what we aren't, the unique SeaDream experience, our service advantage, some testimonials, conclusions, Q&A, and contact information. All right, so let's start with the introduction to SeaDream Yacht Club. It was founded in 2001 by our Norwegian entrepreneur, Atle Brannestad. He is an experienced cruiser. For those of you who may not know, Atle founded Seabourn Cruises. A true Viking, he sold his ships to Carnival and got the itch to get back into the sea and decided to start SeaDream. And for the last about 23 years, we've been developing our product and getting it better. And now we're here presenting in front of you fine folks. So welcome. Our fleet consists of 2 mega yachts, SeaDream 1 and SeaDream 2, so very easy to remember. Our maximum capacity is 112 guests per yacht. Now that's maximum capacity. We rarely go over 100. With that said, we have about 100 crew. So we truly do have nearly 1-to-1 guest to crew ratio. And I can attest that that will pay itself off when your guests are on board, as I experienced for the first time about a week and a half ago. Regarding our destinations, we sail primarily in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, but we are now starting to branch out and do Northern Europe, the fjords, and we are looking at other itineraries possibly for 26, 27, and 28. Now, our mission, our goal is to offer an intimate, casual, elegant yachting experience with every detail tailored to perfection. Now, what we are. We are an intimate luxury cruise line experience. As I said, we only sail with about 112 guests maximum. We have very unique itineraries. Because we are small ships, we're able to go into these smaller ports that the larger cruise ships cannot go to, or even places that the ships cannot even visit because infrastructures couldn't handle 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 6,000 guests. So we do go to the lesser known ports in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean. We are all-inclusive experience. On board is all-inclusive, beverages, food, room service, gratuities, it's all included. We have personalized dining. For those of you who have dietary needs, we are able to handle those accordingly with proper notice. So we can provide you with the type of service and dietary needs you need. Now, here's a fun fact. There are, on our ships, 16 chefs and sous chefs total on board the ship. So that's 16 chefs at any given time for 100 guests, which averages about one chef for every 7 people. To give you a sense of scope, if you are on a 1,500 passenger ship and needed the same type of ratio, you would need 800 chefs to have that same type of ratio. So just give you a sense of scope and attention to detail and service that you will get on our yachts. As I said earlier, we offer anchor ports as opposed to actual docking ports, which is really amazing because it allows us to go into the more unique places that the larger ships cannot go. For example, we can still sail up the Grand Canal in Venice, where a lot of ships can no longer go. So this is the advantage of being on a yacht. So that is what we are. Now, we've recently refurbished our rooms during this thing called the pandemic. We took advantage of being in dry dock, and we refurbished our ships, both of them, SeaDream 1 and SeaDream 2, and invested $10 million in total for both ships, and we took everything down to the studs. So everything inside is brand new, still has that new car smell. So, and I can attest to it because I was just, like I said, I was just there. It's very, very nice. It's beautiful. I was very impressed, certainly coming from the cruise lines, how well appointed these rooms are, and actually how quite large they are. That was very surprising. Now, I will address something that the question may come up later. What are the size of the balconies? Well, as I said, we are a yacht, not a cruise ship. Yachts, by design, do not have balconies if they're true yachts. Mark Zuckerberg's yacht does not have a balcony. Jeff Bezos' yacht doesn't have balconies because true yachts run lower to the water than cruise ships do, so they cannot have balconies. So if you're ever told that a ship is a yacht with balconies, they may want to identify as a yacht, but that doesn't make them a yacht, they're a ship. It's just a fun fact that you could share when people ask you what's the difference. These are some of the pictures on board the ship. That's the top of the yacht. I spent a lot of time there, learned during my cruise what a, what's that drink that I was drinking? Mudslide. Oh, that's good. I'm an ice cream freak for those of you who don't know. And for those of you who are familiar with the mudslide, it's Kahlua, vodka, and Bailey's. And put a lot of ice in there and mix it up with some chocolate sauce. You can't, it's ice cream. So I'm now a mudslide guy. So as you can see, these are pictures from our ship. This is our cuisine. You can see the service on board. We do a lot of dining outdoors. You'll see the couple sitting there. We do almost 90% of our dining takes place outdoors, and that is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that is your view, just like that. Since we don't dock and we anchor, that would be the view on 90% of your meals, which is amazing. It's just having, again, like I said, having been in the cruise industry, I'd never experienced anything like that. On top of that, the sense of community that you get on board when you're only sailing with 100 people is amazing. And forgive me for gushing over it because it really did leave me floored, having come from the major cruise industry and then experiencing this. Now, what we are not free Wi-Fi. We encourage you to disconnect. We do have Starlink if you need to. I would hope that you would be able to disconnect. You and your clients would be able to disconnect, but I do know for some of us, I have to connect. We do offer Starlink, which is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, Wi-Fi connection at sea. And we were actually one of the first ones that had Starlink on our vessels. These are yachts, not ships. We are allowed into exotic and remote ports. As I said earlier, we try to avoid docking. We do a lot of tendering, and it's amazing because we're able to drop anchor in marinas. For example, we're able to get very, very close in Portofino, parts of Cannes and Monaco. We're able to go right into the marina. So it's just, the experience of being on a yacht is, in terms of the visual experience and then in the sensory experience of being on a yacht and going into these smaller ports, is something you cannot experience. I mean, if you could see clearly a little bit the picture in the background there, you'll see this big, big mega yacht. I believe that is the Oasis of the Seas, and our ship is to the right of it. So you could see just the visual difference of what it looks like from what we are and what we aren't. And here's another fun fact. If you see the lifeboats there on the Oasis of the Seas, here's a fun fact. You can hold 370 people on one lifeboat. We only sail with 100. So that gives you a sense of how many people are on that ship. And when you disembark our ship, you don't have to wait for your color code to be called to be disembarked. So we don't have large crowds. We don't do large buses. We don't do elaborate shows. We focus more on the socializing. As I said, there's an amazing sense of community on board the ship, especially when you're only sailing with 100 people, and how close and intimate you get. So it's very special. Going into special, we don't have specialty restaurants. Because we have so many chefs on board, our menu changes every day, and we have multiple menus. So you can pick and choose from the vegan menu to the chef's menu to the standard menu and to the menu of the night, and pick and choose. And trust me, you can pick any combination that you like. I would pick soups, entree, whatever was special that day. And for those of you who may or may not know me, I'm a somewhat large fellow. So I would just slap on a steak on top of my entree. But again, that's all included, and it's fantastic. And it's, again, an experience that you cannot find anywhere. So we don't have specialty dinings. And like I said earlier, we do a lot of dining al fresco outside. It is such an amazing experience. I know that when you're on larger ships, you try to send someone down, your significant other, to grab a table before you go downstairs so that you have a spot. There's a spot for everybody outside. Everybody can eat outside al fresco at the exact same time. So there's never a bad seat in the house. You'll always have a beautiful view for your meals. Now, something we're starting to get into, and that is SeaDream Expeditionary Yachting. Here's the definition, because expedition is always associated with cold weather, but expedition is adventure, it's excitement, it's luxury, it's trying things new. You can be expeditionary with food, with environments, with ports, with cultures. So what is expeditionary yachting? It is a form of yachting that takes luxury to remote, untouched destinations, offering intimate and exclusive adventures. Small, elegant yachts venture into hidden Mediterranean coves and castaway islands in the Caribbean, reaching places inaccessible to larger vessels. Expedition yachting combines the thrill of exploration with the sophistication of personalized service, gourmet dining, and exceptional comfort on board. That is the SeaDream Expeditionary Yachting. So let's use it in a sentence. On their SeaDream Yacht Club expeditionary yachting journey, the Coleman's discovered crystal clear waters and uninhabited beaches along Croatia's Adriatic coast, savoring gourmet meals under the stars and anchoring in remote, untouched bays from the crowded ports of the larger cruise ships. So if you ever need to use it in a sentence, here's your example. So what do? We explore very remote places, not only in the Caribbean, but also in the Mediterranean, along the French Riviera, the Italian Riviera, and the Greek islands. They are a number of islands that we visit that I can't even pronounce in Greece. So I won't dare to insult anyone from Greece by trying to mention some of these islands, but I can assure you they're very remote. Here's some examples of the islands in the Caribbean that we go to: Jost van Dyke, Norman's Island, Martinique, St. Lucia, Anguilla. We overnight in St. Bart's. Right there in that marina that you see, that's where we drop anchor, right in the marina. So you're very close to downtown for those who are familiar with St. Bart's. Isles of the Saints, again, very remote and rarely visited islands. So when someone says they've already done the Caribbean, I can assure you they haven't done this Caribbean because they would have had to have done it on a yacht. There is no Carlos and Charlie's here, and there is no Cozumel. So if they're looking for something unique in the Caribbean, yachting with SeaDream is the way to go. Again, same thing. There are examples of that's how close we were in Portofino. That was one of the ports that I was privy and privileged to visit. We were that close. Positano, Bonifacio, Hydra, that marina, we actually drop anchor right in that marina and you walk downtown. So there is no busing, there is no taxis. You literally just walk off and you're there with the tender. So again, these are the experiences that you just can't get on a cruise ship. And cruise ships are great. And again, not the bad, not one or the other. It depends on what you and your guests are looking for. But if they want something unique, they want to avoid the crowds. They want something special, something they've never done before, places they've never gone to before. Although they may have already gone to that region, SeaDream Yachts. It's yachting, not cruising. So what is unique about our experiences? Like I said, we have fine dining. It is all a la carte. You can customize it. We have a full vegan menu, in addition to being able to handle any dietary needs. We have complimentary shore excursions. We have water sport activities. The water slide, you saw it in the video. I actually did that. Very cool. Didn't realize it goes that fast. So I wasn't prepared to hit the water the way I did. So that was not fun the first time. The second time when I was ready, then it was fun. First time, not so much. We have champagne and caviar splash on the Caribbean beaches. And what that is a trademarked party that we do with our guests in the Caribbean, whereby we get all our guests off and crew and our food and our provisions, and we have a full barbecue on a private beach. We serve up champagne and caviar. Up on the top left, you'll see our chef there handing you a piece of caviar. I am not a caviar guy, so you can have mine, but it's fantastic. The experience, again, is exclusive and unique, and it's small, and it's something that the larger ships, although they may love to do it, can't execute it because it's just too much. When you're sailing with 100 people, piece of cake. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we have the only Thai certified spa treatments on at sea. And for those of you who are very heavy into massages and foot massages and all these type of things, we have 6 masseuses on board. That's 6 masseuses for 100 people. Again, think about that ratio. If you were going to have that type of ratio for a larger ship, it would be about 80 masseuses on a cruise ship, an average cruise ship, to have the same type of ratio. So again, this gives you a sense of exclusivity, a sense of personalization that, although my friends in the cruise ship business would love to execute, it's just not feasible. But as I said, when you're sailing with 100 people, it's possible. So here are some guest testimonials that come from Cruise Critic. I won't bore you. I think my testimonials pretty much resonate with what they're saying. Yeah, regarding the crew and the first name, that's pretty neat. For me, it was the experience. I will tell you an experience for me. I would order soda water and lemonade at different times throughout the day. And they started recognizing that they're like, well, why don't you just put them together? And they would start making me lemonade with soda water. That was awesome. When it's 98 degrees in Europe and you're just coming back from an excursion or from walking around town, sparkling lemonade is an amazing treat. Then, of course, I moved over to the mudslides, and it's a whole different game. But again, it was fantastic. So again, you'll see our guests. The experiences are amazing. Our repeat factor is something that blew me away. Having been in the industry for a long time, a repeat factor of about 30% is quite impressive. A repeat factor of 40 is just unheard of. But SeaDream's repeat factor is 68.7%. I mean, think about it. If you were gambling at a Las Vegas table, if the odds of you winning was 68.7%, you take those odds every day. So know that putting your guests on board SeaDream there's almost a 70% chance that they're coming back. And that is phenomenal. When I was on board the ship, I could not believe how many 3-timers, 4-timers, 5-timers, 8-timers were on board. And that was my first time. So I guess the SeaDream version, it was my first time. But again, your clients are gonna love it. Look, there's a picture of the Balinese beds. I spent a lot of time on those things, and there's a seat everywhere. This thing of not being able to get a chair by the sun or in the shade, there's room for everyone to get sun or everyone to get shade. It's amazing how they put it together. I'm sorry that I'm so excited because I'm still in vacation mode, so I'm very excited about it. So in conclusion, the recap, as I said, we are a yacht, not a ship. We are not a cruise ship. We don't have balconies because true yachts, do not have balconies. We are intimate. We are exclusive. Exclusive in the sense of where we go, exclusive in the sense of how we take care of our guests. Our true guest to crew ratio truly is 1-to-1. It's very intimate. It's amazing. It's just, it's so hard to explain. I'm so excited for my vacation that I can't get over it. I have all these memories flashing through my mind. So I do apologize because looking at these pictures, I'm reliving the whole thing from about a week and a half ago. Here's our contact information. Please visit our website at www.seadream.com. If you're looking for information, brochures, further information to get in touch with us, it's info@seadream.com as an email. There's our phone number, our 800 number, and you can find us on social media across all platforms. So with that said, I will open up for questions. Do we have anything that you'd like me to answer?
Hey, Carlos, this is Johanna. Well, first, thank you on behalf of our attendees today and CLIA. Thank you for your time and putting together such a good presentation so that we can learn about what is the differentiator between cruising, yachting, and what sets SeaDream apart. I think a good question that was submitted that would be good for the group is for new cruisers, right? A lot of them have the concern that they're going to be feeling a lot of seasickness. Could you speak to the seasickness rate on a smaller vessel, on a yacht versus on a cruise ship?
Yes, two things. Great question, because when my girlfriend went with me and she gets seasick just walking. So I was concerned about that. We are a port intensive. So we'd literally go to port after port after port. There are no sea days. So we don't go out deep into the ocean. We hug the coast. And because we're port intensive and the ports are one after the other because they're so unique, we are able to go at a low level of speed, number of knots. So the ship moves very, very slowly. So you don't feel it at all. I've been on big ships with stabilizers and the whatnot, and those too. But since we are small, since we are a yacht, we are able to go closer to the shore than a cruise ship can because we don't have that size of a draft. And we go very slow. So the probability of getting sick or feeling rough waters when you're further out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 miles out is highly unlikely when you're only about 2 miles offshore. So we hug the coast. You can see the coast all the way down when we go from port to port. So motion sickness, seasickness, sickness of any kind, highly unlikely, highly unlikely.
That is very good to know. That is a good explanation that our agents can give to their clients. And just to stay on that topic of what is kind of different about yachting and cruising, could you talk about the different demographic of clients that our agents should be reaching out to for yachting or specifically for SeaDream?
Yes, with respect to yachting, anyone who's into boating, people who have their own boats, they're going to get it. Because as I said, I was trying to explain to you during the presentation, and I would stumble over myself because it's something you have to experience. So if you have clients that are into boating, have been on boats many times before, own their own yachts, have friends that have yachts, perfect. Also, our ships are meant to be for active individuals. So with respect to demos, age really in this case is but a number. And I say that because since we do a lot of anchoring, and we are small, we don't board the tender right from the ship. We literally have to go down a staircase and onto the tender, like a true yacht. So you have to be very mobile, very active. You're not going to see people who are struggling to move because this would just not be the product for them. There were people there, certainly older than me. Not that I'm that young, but certainly older than me that definitely outdid me in terms of walking and hiking. And we have bikes on board that you can request to mountain bikes to be taken off, and then you can go riding. So again, this is for very active individuals. I wouldn't necessarily ping it to age, but more activity level. I mean, you could have someone who's 30 years old and is not very active, a gamer or something, and they're not going to be able to function on the yacht. And then you'll have someone who's, I went mountain bike climbing with one of our guests, 75, and he just blew right past me. And I had an electric bike, so that was a little bit embarrassing. But be that as it may, yes, our demos are very active individuals who are very familiar with the sea. I personally think that selling SeaDream Yacht goes well to anyone who's already been there, done that. Because if they've been there and they've done that and they haven't been on the yacht, they truly have not been there and they truly have not done that.
Great. Thank you for sharing all those good points there, Carlos. And just to kind of stay on that topic, could you speak about the accessibility on a yacht versus on a cruise, just so that if there are clients who do want to experience the yachting experience that SeaDream provides, but they do have accessibility needs or they need a wheelchair on board, could you just speak to the accessibility and the ADA compliance that SeaDream does to make sure that people who do need those accommodations can be helped?
Yes, we again, because we are so intimate and we are so small and we do have a true ratio of guests to passengers of 101, there will always be someone attending to your needs, be it mobility needs or personal needs. There'll always be someone there. We also have an elevator on board that goes all the way from the second deck, which is where the rooms start, all the way to the top deck. The only place it doesn't go is to the very, very top where the slide is. But if you have mobility issues, I wouldn't recommend you getting on the slide. Having said that, we do have ADA compliant rooms. So you just need to talk to our reservations team to see what is available on that particular date, but that is available. And again, there's plenty of room, and the way the ship is designed, you can move with a wheelchair throughout the ship quite easily and take the elevators to the top deck. So it is ADA compliant, and they will be more than happy. I mean, they could be right there going to the Corinth Canal, sitting right here in the back. It's not a problem.
Perfect. That's great to know that it's very inclusive. And so just moving on to the next question, for those who may be new to SeaDream, could you just speak about any promotions or incentive programs to try and get new clients who maybe have never heard of SeaDream more interested in just giving it a try and going on one of the itineraries?
Yeah, we have some promotions going on right now. We're launching our anniversary. Actually, our 23rd year anniversary started September 1st of 2001, as I said, when Atlee purchased SeaDream 1 and SeaDream 2. So we've got some promotions that you can see online on our website at www.seadream.com. They are discounts of up to $1,500 that you can take advantage of, and your guests can take advantage of as well. So I would highly recommend that you visit our site, and I can assure you that our site will do a much better job at presenting the product than I have been, only because I've been so excited looking at these pictures. And that'll be available Monday. So rest up for the weekend, play around on our site, revisit us on Monday, and you will see all those promotions. Of course, if you just happen to come across a guest today or tomorrow, you just give me a call, and I won't make you wait till Monday.
We will call Carlos directly. Got it.
Yeah, just give me a call. I'll give you my number, 786-260-8898.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And for those of you who missed that, this presentation is being recorded, so you'll be able to catch Carlos's number again once we get it up on the YouTube channel. But there are a few more questions here that I think would be beneficial for the
Of
entire
course.
group. It's speaking about the activities on board and the excursions that you have at port. Are those things that they need to book pre-cruise, or is that something that the guests will do upon checking in or when they get on board?
Yes, yes, and yes, all three. The excursions, you can book prior to getting on board. The water tours, you have to wait till you're on board. And then there's some other tours and walking tours that you can book while you're on board. For example, I didn't show you a picture, but those beds, those Balinese beds, you can sleep out there, and they set it up, sheets, tent, the whole thing. I did. I slept out there. You think you won't stay there the whole night, but depending on who you are, I slept the whole night, and it was only the heat of the sun that woke me up. And then I literally walked down one deck below in my pajamas and had breakfast. So those you have to sign up while you're on board, and they will decorate it for you and lay sheets and pillows and all sorts of nice things will be out there. You can also bring some of the surprises that you get every night in your room. I'm going to tell you what they are, but just know that you get surprises. That's a lot of fun for those of you who love receiving packages like I do. Nothing better than seeing the Amazon Prime box on your porch when you come home. It's so exciting. Well, it's the same thing on the ship. It's really exciting to come back from dinner and see something on the bed. So yeah, it's an amazing experience. I highly recommend that you get your clients on board.
Great, Carlos. And I know you said you can't tell us the surprise, but could you tell us your favorite surprise that you got on board?
Yes, I can tell you my favorite surprise. My customized pajamas. They're the best.
That's a good one.
First of all, you get your name on it, and then it's embroidered. And then it like not like the iron-ons when we were kids that start to peel off. This is embroidered. How to get your size right? Well, my size was a little bit tighter. Now it could have been tighter when I put them on, which was like 2 or 3 days after the cruise has started. So maybe that's the reason it was a little bit tighter. But I slept with them last night. They're really awesome. And my buddy here, Don, actually wore it to work one day because it's like a Henley shirt. It looks just like a Henley shirt. And I was on a Zoom call with him, and I freaked out because I thought they were giving out free clothes at work, and I didn't get anything. He's like, no, those are the pajamas you'll get when you're on board. Like, what? So now I got my Henley shirt, and I should have worn it today for the presentation. But yes, my favorite was the pajamas. That was very cool.
Yeah, and the sleeping outside, that definitely sounds like an experience
that was
you
awesome.
can't get anywhere else. Yeah.
And we had a breeze going because when the ship leaves, like I said, it goes very slow. So you have that like soft breeze. Oh, nice.
Amazing. And just to continue here, and I think this will be our last question for the webinar. I know that throughout the presentation, you spoke about how the maximum is 112 guests, but you normally see an average of about 100 guests, correct?
Correct.
And so with that in mind, and it being a smaller ship, are guests able to reserve spaces for groups or special events on board? And then is there a program for larger groups who want to come on board with SeaDream?
Yes, you can work with our groups department and schedule with our ship's operations team to secure certain areas. There's the library, there's the dining room, there's the lounge. There's a number of rooms where we can accommodate groups. If it's a prayer group or if it's a mahjong group, a bridge group. So yes, we can accommodate these things. We love bridge groups. We love all groups. We are, as I said, not an all-inclusive product, but we also like to be a socially and culturally inclusive brand. So we like everything. We have the space, as I said, the library, the dining room, and the lounge theater, where we do lectures and whatnot. So there's plenty of room and plenty of space. Now, one of the things that I'll touch upon, you would think that with 100 people on the yacht, it's going to be tied to what it's. Again, that's the freakish thing about it. And I got to be honest with you, I got to be straightforward because there's no other way of explaining it. As I said, I've been on cruise ships for a long, long time, 2 decades worth, and it's ladies and gentlemen, it's phenomenal. It's just a real odd sense of being on the ocean, seeing the same ocean that you may have seen on a larger ship, but from a whole different perspective. The intimacy when you want it and the inclusion when you need it. It's pretty amazing. And I'm sorry if I'm stumbling and stuttering. It's just I'm trying to find the right words. I'm pretty good at the English language, but I can't find the right words to describe the sensory overload that you get when you're on a yacht and you go to some of these ports.
Well, it just sounds like everyone needs to try SeaDream to really experience what you have experienced recently.
Yes, and look, we have agent rates. Reach out to your representatives. You can see who they are on our website. Contact them. You could also send information to info@seadream.com. And since I shouted out my phone number, you'll see the phone number. Just text me and I'll text you who your rep is. And so we have agent rates, and you gotta go. You gotta go.
And with that, Carlos, I think we can wrap it up for today. We've answered all the questions. Don, thank you so much for answering the questions in the questions module that were a little bit more specific or that you could answer quickly. So I appreciate you doing that as well. And on behalf of CLIA and the attendees here today, Carlos, again, thank you very much for spending the afternoon here with us. And we hope to see everyone on the next one.
Yes, and thank you very much all for taking your time out of your day to share a little bit of time with me. Thank you.
Of course, get some rest and we will see you on the next one.